Going deep, Jamar Chase. He's got it. Chase to the end zone. That's a Bengal touchdown.
Best wide receiver, Bengals history, what would you say?
Sound good.
Yeah. What if I said Jamar Chase, best wide receiver in the NFL?
I would agree.
Okay. People wanted to know. People wanted to know.
I wouldn't talk less about myself.
Yeah.
You know, everybody gonna have their opinion.
This is the moment I know they've been praying on. Try not to boy out, but I'm staying on. Oh, keep on sending me slaps to go crazy on 40. Keep saying it's time to be patient. There's so many people, we turning the tables on. Capo got plans, but we'll say that for later on. Hush and keep saying they know that they played it wrong. Katie just text with the we waiting on. Damn. Me, I'm expressionless. Be talking about don't shoot the messenger. 555 get shot for way less than here. None of you just blocking my blessings.
Go time, go time, go time.
All of these baddies obsessed with my face. All the they don't address in my face. I can't be showing no stress in my face. No face, no face, no face.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Sit Down with Malik Wright, presented by the Right Way Sports Network. As you guys know, we like to talk with athletes about their story behind the game. We want to get to know the athlete behind the jersey, behind the face mask. Today, I'm sitting down with Cincinnati's finest. I'm sitting down with the man. I'm sitting down with Jamar Chase, man. So it's an absolute pleasure, brother.
How you doing? Nice for having me, bro.
For sure, man. Yeah. So, a lot of Cincinnati fans, I'm sure they want to get to know you, right? They get to see you on the football field. They get to see the amazing plays you make. But, I think there's way more to you beyond just football. And that's sort of what we're going to talk about today. The first question I got for y'all is, what motivates you, right? What motivates Jamar Chase, right? We see that you have personal goals, things that you want to accomplish. What motivates you each and every single day?
If I'm completely honest, I'm already self-motivated.
Yeah.
I don't like being on my ass for like more than 2 weeks, 3 weeks max. Like it felt weird for me trying to get back in shape. So I'm always trying to do something. Also, I got kids, you know what I'm saying? I got a family to take care of at the end of the day, and really just a lack of being, like everybody else.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put myself in the same bracket with everybody. I want to stand out.
For sure. Now, is that something that sort of like was instilled in you when you were a kid, or is that something that you were I guess, born with?
You could say both, you know what I'm saying? Because, you be around some tough people my whole life, you know what I'm saying? I've been around my friends, you know what I'm saying? And different parks I played with too, they teach differently. I went to a private school growing up, so mental toughness was big, you know what I'm saying? So you could say both.
For sure. Now, obviously, you talked about going to a private school. You talked about mental toughness. What would you say was like the moment where you realized, like, man, I'm Jamar Chase, right? I can make it. I can make it far into the league. I can make it as far as I want to take this thing. When was that moment for you where it just clicked?
Like for football?
Yeah.
I got recruited to play football, to go to the private school, my high school, 8th grade going into my freshman year.
Yeah.
I took my school to the middle school, the championship, we got to play in the high school arena, high school football field for the first time ever. And I was, doing my thing. And Archbishop Rummel was the school I was attending. That's who recruited me to go there. And after about my freshman year, my sophomore year, I was going against the number one corner, Christian Fulton.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He's the number one corner in the nation. And I was getting the best of the best every day as a freshman. And he's a sophomore at the time, you know what I'm saying? Wow. So I always had, good work, I could say,
Right, for sure. It's funny that you bring up Christian Fulton. We obviously know that you guys played together at LSU, right? Thinking about your days at LSU, what would you say was like, I guess your most like defining moment where you realize, okay, obviously I could do it on a collegiate level, but I could really take it to the professional level and really do it big.
Really, once you get like the mindset of being you, like that dog in you, once you get that dog in you, you just feel like you can't be touched, can't be messed with on the field. And like once I started to get offers rolling through, that's when I started to, get more confidence in myself.
Right.
And that didn't start to like the end of my sophomore year, going into my junior year, only because that I was going into a private school. We was run first.
Okay.
So I had to explore to go to camps. I went to Arkansas State, Ole Miss, Auburn, Florida. Like I went to all the camps I could go to just to get myself exposure, because I went to a run first school.
For sure.
So once I got that confidence during the season of my junior year and my senior year that I couldn't be messed with, you heard me?
Yeah.
I just, excelled.
Now, this is a personal question I got to ask, right? Before we start talking about your days in the NFL, you played for Coach O, right? Yeah. Coach Orgeron. Yeah. What was that like, man, playing for Coach O?
I'll tell you, it was fun. It was fun just because we had a great team overall. But Coach O came with the energy, man.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. He'd be in the locker room giving us a speech, and he'd take his shirt off and just screaming and ask for a can and smash it. So like it was just random stuff he would do to get the players excited for the game. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
That had goosebumps me thinking about it because that's how much of a thrill that he had on us. You know what I'm saying? But he was overall a good person, man.
For sure, man. For sure. He definitely seems like that, obviously, when he's on camera. So we talk about, your high school days, talked about a little bit about college, but what was your biggest challenge, I guess I would say, transitioning from college football to the NFL?
I mean, everybody knew that.
What was that?
I mean, doing like my preseason when I had the little drops and everything.
Everybody was like, you couldn't catch.
I mean, that was the only thing that was I would say anything but just a mental standpoint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Other than that, I was just adjusting to the speed of the game, trying to get used to it,
You talked about the mental, hurdle that you had, which, some would say that it was a mental hurdle, but I feel like your first opening game, man, you catch a deep pass against the Minnesota Vikings, right? Hit the gritty. Everybody in Cincinnati is like, whoa, what was that? Like, they were shocked. So it wasn't, to me, it didn't seem like it was necessarily, it seemed like you kind of handled it with flying colors, I would say.
That's just how I handle the majority of things. Yeah. I'm not really an outspoken person. I don't put my business out there, what I go through. It's already a lot. Sure. Everybody got problems, you know what I'm saying? But everybody look at me as a public figure, and I don't really, at the time, it'd be hard for me to accept stuff like that when I'm 20, 21 years old. And, it's a lot. And I just was, just going about it, just staying off the media because that's the easiest way to get yourself in some BS, you know what I'm saying? So I just, made sure I kept my head down, kept working like I always do.
For sure. And I think that's, a great segue to the next part is, you came from LSU, came to Cincinnati, and you've done everything that you said that you wanted to do at a big stage. You've played in the Super Bowl. You've done so many amazing things. How do you adjust? Like, you're not just Jamar Chase, the football player. You're Jamar Chase, the superstar. You looked at as arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL. And I think you ask anybody in Cincinnati, they will argue and say you are the best wide receiver in the NFL. How do you deal with that,
I got a friend that always tell me, like, I couldn't be famous. But, at the end of the day, that's not really what you're asking for.
Right.
You don't ask to be famous. I know I didn't. Yeah. You just be yourself, and whatever God give you, you just handle it. You know what I'm saying? He put his toughest soldiers in the biggest battles.
Biggest battles, for sure.
So, like, I've been through a lot, and I just try to handle it and try to be as normal as possible, because at the end of the day, we all put our clothes on the same way.
Yes, sir.
We all do everything the same way. We eat the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we just might not have as much access as other people in life. That's what it is at the end of the day. And if you go about it the right way and build connections, you know what I'm saying? It's just about building connections too.
For sure, man. How do you, even if there is a way, how do you mentally prepare for a big game? For, you're going up against a big time cornerback, and everybody's expecting Jamar Chase versus, you name it, for instance. How do you prepare for that?
You got to really treat it like any other game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You get excited for matchups. I do. I know I do. But I still got to look at them the same.
Yeah.
I still got to study them. You know what I'm saying? Watch the film. You know what I'm saying? As long as I go out there and have that mindset, I can't be stopped. That's what it's all about.
Man, I love that. So when people, let's say when you hang it up, right, you decide to retire, what do you want people to say about Jamar Chase?
Shoot, he got a Super Bowl ring, one of the best receivers to ever play the game. I want to be up there with Jerry Rice and the greats, man. I want to be up there with the greats.
Is there any receiver that you sort of patterned your game after?
Not really. It's hard to say, man, because growing up, I didn't really look the part to play receiver. I had to mold myself and work on my stuff that wasn't that good. So I never really modeled myself after nobody. I just always looked up to Des Bryant, but I never really studied his game to do what he do. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I try to get as much information that I can from anybody or any game and just add it into my craft, because that's the only way you're going to get better is when you add new stuff.
100%. So, fun question.
Yep.
Who's the toughest cornerback you've ever played against?
That's easy. Denzel.
Denzel Ward?
It's twice a year.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's one-on-one majority of the time. He got great feet. He know leverage. He know splits. You know what I'm saying? He's just one of the best I like playing.
Yeah. Now, I saw you do an interview recently, or went viral recently, and you talked about, your top 5 receivers in the league. Who are your top 5 corners in the league? Somebody asked you. Well, I'm asking you. Jamar Chase, top 5 corners in the league.
I gotta put Denzel on there. I don't really play, too many on the other side. Besides the AFC. Joey Porter pretty smooth. He just long. I ain't played too many people, and I don't want, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's gonna be fun going against Ramsey and Darius Slay. I had an opportunity to go against them this last year, and you know what I'm saying, him my rookie year. That's 4. I'm gonna go with 4.
4. All right. Well, we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. So you put a tweet out yesterday, right? You was talking.
Derek Stingley. I put Sting in there.
Sting. Okay. Yeah, you guys had some good battles.
I'm about to say, I put Sting in there. That's my dog.
Now,
good looks.
Now you look at the AFC North. I mean, there's just so much talent, especially being added to the defensive backfield. What do you make of Jalen Ramsey now in the division, Darius Slay now in the division, right? Jair Alexander now in the division. I know that was a matchup, me personally being just a football fan, I was looking forward to your rookie year, and Jair wound up missing the game. But you versus Jair when he was playing with the Green Bay Packers. What do you make of, all the talent that a lot of these teams are adding to defensive backfield? Do you think it's to stop Cincinnati, or do you?
I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? Ravens get DBs every year, so everybody just get new pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To complete what they're trying to do. And I don't blame them. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we everybody know what we can do over here.
Right.
We ain't hiding it at the end of the day, Overall, I think it's gonna be great matchups all across the board. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Inside, slot, from the outside. I think it's gonna be fun, man, because twice a year, I mean, that's a lot of reps.
For sure.
And I like that.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
I know they're gonna be excited, so I know it's gonna be exciting for me. So I'm just really excited. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm just excited.
Just excited. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you guys missed the playoffs last year, right? There's been a lot of chatter, I would say, from players. The confidence just seems completely different about this Bengals team this year. What do you make of that? Like, what do you think? Why do you think that is? Why do you think everyone seems to be locked in this year, and it just seems like there's a different level of focus, I would say?
I feel like we locked in every year, to be honest, man. It's just when you're in the NFL, every game ain't easy.
Yeah.
That's why the NFL is the best of the best. And you're going against good coaches that know schemes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That know tendencies well. Like these guys study this way more than players do. So if they telling us what's going on, you got to understand that they seeing it way more. So I think it's a lot at the end of the day, but it's all about how you want to approach it. If you want to learn it, like I said, you got to be the best.
For sure.
It's the only way you're going to do it.
For sure. Now, you talked earlier about how you're not like necessarily the most vocal, right? But your actions definitely speak louder, right? Now, we know Joe isn't really necessarily the most like rah type of guy, but is there ever a moment where you guys are out there on the football field where he's just, on you guys and he's like, all right, we need to get this thing. You just see that fire from him?
Yeah. Yeah, he gonna do it in the huddle,
Yeah.
He gonna do it in the huddle, or he'll come to me, or come to, go up to a guy and do it. Joe pretty vocal at the end of the day. But he ain't gonna scream, get in your face, you know what I'm saying? But he definitely gonna let you know, let's pick it up, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Not in a nice way, but he gonna get it across his way.
For sure.
At the end of the day. And that's what you want from a quarterback. But for me, I gotta be more vocal too. Guys respect my opinion.
Yeah.
So, me being vocal can also bring confidence to the guys,
Right, absolutely. We're going to ask you a few more football questions before we get to the fun stuff. But what has been your favorite moment so far of your NFL career?
I'll just say my rookie year, man. I mean, last year too.
Yeah.
But every year just gets more fun for me because I'm learning more of the game still as I'm in the NFL. And it's coming to me easier. That means I'm slowing the game down in my head more, when I'm on the field. And that's really a good process to have, because that's what they say vets do.
Right.
Now that I've been in the league for 5 years, I'm a vet now, and that's low-key old. You know what I'm saying?
They're not calling you Unc yet, though, so.
Nah, I hope not. I hope not.
I got called that the other day. I said, oh, man, I'm 29 years old. But
you pushing it. You ain't Unc, though. I wouldn't say that.
Thank you. So what advice would you have for, young people, man, that are trying to be where you are, that look up to Jamar Chase? And I know there are so many. I just came from a leadership camp, and people were like, "Man, have you ever talked to Jamar Chase?" I mean, the kids were going crazy, just with the line of work that I do. But what would be your advice to young people that are aspiring to make it to the NFL, that have been doubted, that's been told maybe you're too small, you can't run routes, you can't catch? Like, what would your advice be?
not to care about nobody's opinion at the end of the day. Just because you work hard and somebody else telling you can't, I would say just to keep going. I've been told I couldn't do stuff and did it, so there's going to be haters in life. There's going to be people who don't want to see you be successful. But as a kid, the best information you could give a kid is to be a kid at the end of the day, because once kids hit a certain level of age, we all did the same thing. We got to where we couldn't be told nothing, or we wanted to do something else. So, at the end of the day, a kid has to know what a kid is and just be a kid, have fun. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to be great, you can still push yourself to levels, not over pushing yourself, but be a kid at the end of the day.
For sure.
You're going to miss your childhood. Not saying I did. I missed a little bit of it, but, at the end of the day, you just got to let a kid be a kid and let them mess up. That's another thing. You do sometimes have to let them mess up.
Absolutely. I think that's great advice, man. So I got to ask, man, what is your favorite hobby, passion outside of football?
I'm a gamer at heart.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What type of games you play?
2K.
You want to see me?
My park, though. I'm in my park.
Okay.
I'm not on.
So I win, right? I'd win.
You probably.
You see that, everybody? Yeah. Listen, T said I couldn't beat him, but Jamar said I could beat him in 2K. So we'll take
I ain't know.
We'll take
my park. We go to my park and play 1-on-1. I'll get you in there.
Wait, my park 2K?
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
What's up?
Yeah, telling you.
I mean, Xbox right there. You ain't saying that.
Oh, and you Xbox player? I know you're not good.
Man,
I just told me everything.
Man. So 2K, my part. You play Madden ever?
I don't play Madden no more.
Okay.
I was on what was it called? 7-on-7, my yard.
Yeah.
I was on for around that time, and I got off it. And then I'll play Call of Duty and the little modern GTA now.
Yeah. Have you ever played with yourself in Madden?
Yeah, when it dropped.
You do know you're almost like a 99 in there, right?
I would hope I am.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Chad.
You there?
Chad.
Got to talk to Chad about that.
Yeah.
So if I was to say Jamar Chase, best wide receiver, Bengals history, what would you say?
Sound good.
Yeah. What if I said Jamar Chase, best wide receiver in the NFL?
I would agree.
Okay. People wanted to know.
I wouldn't talk less about myself.
Yeah.
Is everybody gonna have their opinion on ranking me?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm gonna put myself on the pedestal.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So I keep the most confidence.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we know you're big into fashion, right? I gotta ask, what has really allowed you to really hone in on your passion when it comes to fashion and stuff like that, man?
Really, I would want to say trying new things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Trying clothes I don't usually wear, or trying new looks. You know what I'm saying? And if I could pull them off and feel like I pulled it off enough, then I'll be good. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm changing my clothes three times before I leave the house. You know what I'm saying? I do that sometimes. I think everybody do, but it's just about being comfortable.
For sure. I heard that you have a car collection, right? A little bit of a car collection.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, what do you want as your next car? Do you have something in mind?
I got something in mind.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say it though. If I do, it's just gonna be me popping out with it.
Okay. So you don't want anybody to be like, oh my God, I need what. Okay.
I'm never. That's flexing.
Yeah.
Like I'm flexing now.
Okay. So is there a place where you got your fashion, inspiration from, your influence a little bit?
I mean, you see a lot of people with style.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you don't really copy their style. You might go off a look that they going for and throwing your sauce on it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and getting help from others, getting another opinion, is also a part of style. Ain't nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day,
for sure. Again, I appreciate your time, brother. If you had one last message to Bengals fans for the upcoming season, why they should be excited, what they should look forward to, what would that be?
Better than last year. We got to make the playoffs first. You know what I'm saying? I win the AFC championship. That's the first goal. That's the best in the division.
Sure.
Do that. AFC championship.
Okay.
Then playoffs, of course. Take care of the playoffs. We get to the Super Bowl, but I don't want to jump that far yet.
For sure.
First thing is to win the AFC championship, and that's what we're going to try to do for y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jamar Chase, man, I appreciate your time, brother.
No problem. Appreciate you.
One last question I got to ask you, though, before I let you get out of here. You think I could beat you in a 3-point contest?
Probably.
I'm taking my victories where I can get them, man.
No, for sure.
Okay.
T more the shooter.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to dunk on you.
Okay.
I just want to embarrass you a little bit more.
I respect it. Yeah. Man, I appreciate you. Make sure you guys give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, follow Jamar Chase, man. And we'll see you guys next time on the Sit Down.
I'm staying on, keep on sending me slaps to go crazy on 40, keep saying it's time to be patient. There's so many people, we turning the tables on Capo, got plans, but we'll say that for later on. Hush and keep saying they know that they played it wrong. Katie just text what the fuck we waiting on. Damn. Me, I'm expressionless. Be talking about don't shoot the messenger. 555, get shot for way less than here. None of you just blocking my blessings here. What? Yeah.